Yeah, I'll let you have it today.
Hear me, baby. Hear me. I blowed him out too, y'all. I blew him out.
No, you didn't blow it out. You blew it out, but I let you let.
I
let you get it this
Don't let
time.
nobody win this, man. He didn't cut it out, y'all. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. The sheriff is not in tonight. We got Deputy Brownie in the building that's going to be giving the report tonight. Welcome. Y'all.
Thank you.
Let's find those clappers from Mr. Brownie here. We got Deputy Brownie in the building, y'all. Let's go.
In the house.
Hey. Good afternoon. We're back with the sheriff report with Deputy Brownie.
Do the thing now.
Let's go.
Well, first off, let's get shots out to 100.7 FM WUBZ with DJ Booty Rush, Hear Me TV, Tuskegee Virtual TV, Channel 181 in town, Channel 19 on the TU campus with Pat Wallace, director, Kimberly Wright, and Jordan.
And she bet Jordan just be working everywhere.
I know, right?
She just came to city council meeting, man.
I know, right?
I wish they could put camera 4 on her, man.
I know, right?
Yeah, because she
Look,
got a Michael Jackson uniform
That's
on and
right.
everything, man.
That's right. Thumbs up, baby. Thumbs up.
Oh,
yeah. No,
man.
we don't have a camera 4 this week, so we can't show the crew. But you know what? They're looking good. They're camera ready.
Camera ready.
They are always camera ready. So that's good.
And the sheriff do apologize for not being here tonight. He's at a workshop.
Hey, but we got Mr. Brownlee in here, and he
right.
always does a good job.
Always does a good job, bro.
Short and
So, yeah.
Short and
A little short and sweet.
But we're going to have a good program.
Oh, no, we're going to have a good show tonight because we got some stuff to talk about.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
So, yeah, let's let him run it on down.
Yes, sir.
All right, this sheriff's report is from July the 5th to July the 11th, 2019. On these dates, the Macon County Sheriff Department received 165 volunteer fire transmissions, 1,390 landline calls, 321 E911 calls, and 1,254 radio transmissions, totaling 3,130 calls for the
Wow.
It's a little.
We're up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
For the fourth, though, it should
Yeah, well,
we used
for
to
a
be
holiday
lucky.
weekend, I'm not
Right.
surprised.
I'm not surprised, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So run it on down, bro.
All right, from July the 5th, 2019, we had 5 complaints on Clearview Road. We had a criminal mischief. On Rogers Road, we had a theft of property 3rd. Lee Road 120 had a reckless endangerment. Highway 29 South, we had a theft 4th, burglary 3rd. On July the 6th, we had 2 complaints on Roxana Road, a harassing communication, and on County Road 37, a domestic violence 3rd. On July the 8th, we had 6 complaints. Like we were pretty busy on the 8th.
Okay.
Crawford Street, recovered vehicle. County Road 2, recovered vehicle. 2 arrests. U.S. Highway 81, theft of a vehicle. And on U.S. Highway 80 East, another reckless endangerment. On July the 9th, we had 3 complaints. County Road 81, harassment. Moores Mills Road, a theft 2nd. And on County Road 24, deputies did an information report only. And July the 10th had 1 report at Victory Land for a private property accident.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, we see something on that list that we hate. And
That's right.
That's that domestic violence.
Man.
You know, we really don't need that.
Right.
You know, but as the summer develops, you know, we're getting, you know, we're getting less complaints and less traffic than we did last year. Because last year we were getting like, we were getting like 6,000 around this time.
Yeah.
So it's good.
It's a good
so
thing.
yeah, I appreciate the community is something is
Way
happening
down.
good.
Right.
That's good.
Way down.
That's real good.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also, when you hear about these recovered vehicles, that's like a stolen vehicle.
Right.
That's being recovered.
Covered.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
That's
And
great.
those property crimes, you know, we have a lot of that
Right.
here, and that's something that we need to deal with too.
Right.
You know, and this is something that the sheriff talks about every week. You know, we always talk about, you know, respecting other people's property.
You got to
Right.
respect.
We got to look out for each other.
Right.
So, you know, I always tell people the same thing that the sheriff says. You know, you got to watch out for your neighbors
Right.
Right.
and these elderly people because,
Right.
you know, I've had my vehicle gone through.
Mm-hmm.
I know Kim Motor City has had a very vicious theft of her property.
Right.
So I know how that goes.
Right.
And so we just got to respect each other. This
You
is a wonderful black community. We got to look out for each other.
That's right.
So yeah, like the sheriff always says, look out for your folks.
That's right.
Yeah. Look out for your folks.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
now,
right.
something else that had happened, and we're not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but I know that everybody that I've talked to wants to hear information about this, this high profile murder that took place. And, this did take place at a McDonald's, which is a very high profile place.
That's right.
And it was a very, how do you say it? A profound murder.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the young lady who is the mother.
Mm-hmm.
I've known her for many, many years. So shout out to the family. Our prayers go out
Condolences
to her.
Right.
And we're not going to say any names or anything like that.
That's right.
But, we love them and we really care. And, the two of them, the mom and dad, I know them.
Right.
And so, let's just keep our prayers going for them because I know they're going through a lot.
Right.
Was something to happen like that,
Right.
that, that's deep,
And people don't understand it. Everybody lose. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
The parents of the victim and the
Exactly.
parents of the person too.
Right.
That we all lose as a community.
We
You
do.
know what I mean? The
We
whole
do.
community lose. So therefore,
right.
just because you're not in the kin to them or don't know them, you
That's
still
right.
lose.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Everybody lose.
Right.
And everything. Anytime something like this comes about in our community, everybody hurts.
We gotta work on this.
And
We gotta work
everybody
on
want to
this.
sit and want to talk about it and say something about it, but come up with a solution.
That's
Everybody
it.
need to sit down
That
and come up
is
with a
the key.
solution.
Mhm.
Solution. Don't be badgering and talk about this and
Right.
talk. Let's come up with a solution.
That's right.
And you know what? I'm going to say this too, to the young people in the community. There's a better way
Mm-hmm.
to handle your disputes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a better way to resolve the difficulties that we have.
Absolutely.
If you have a problem with somebody, there is a better way to deal with it
Mm-hmm.
than to resort to something like that.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
And to do it in such a high profile way
Exactly.
that, we as a community, as black people, I'm going to say it,
Right.
we as black people got to do better.
We gotta do better.
Okay.
A lot better.
We got to do
Gotta-
better.
Right.
And so the thing is, for us to have these sorts of things, and then and I'm going to say it like this, you got Channel 12 coming down here, looking at us
Mm-hmm.
and putting that out there, that made the state news.
Right.
That's an embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
And that reflects on the community.
The whole
And so
community.
I'm telling the young people, we got to do better
Gotta do better, man. We gotta
because
do
it
better.
makes all of us look bad.
All
When
of
we
us.
have McDonald's,
Yeah.
really?
Right.
How you do that, man?
Yeah. But I just, you got to think about when you see situations like that. We are older adults. We know better.
Right.
But you got to
Yeah.
think about the kids that sees that under that.
Right.
That's
and,
right.
And the parents of the people the victims. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
And also the people that was in McDonald's.
Let me
that got
tell
a
you.
chance to witness
Let me
and
tell
see
you.
that.
My heart goes out to all of the people that were working there
Yeah.
that witnessed that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they need some kind of therapy or counseling or something.
that's
Because
what we don't
you
do.
can't can't see something like that and it just
Right.
Yeah.
goes
And drink it
away.
away. Smoke it away and drink it away.
No, you can't do it. You can't do it.
You need
That's going to
counseling.
be with you for a long time, something like that.
You need professional help, man.
So yeah, reach out. Anybody that's watching the show or listening to the show, if you need help, if you experience this, reach out.
Right.
Don't just put that inside and internalize that. Just let it out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to let it out. All those workers there, I feel for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of single parents that work up in there,
That's right.
and they
High school students.
yeah. I
You know what
mean,
I mean?
really. So we gotta do better as
That's right.
as a community, and we got to stamp this out.
Right.
And the whole mindset that you would just resort to just straight up violence like
Right.
that. We got to do better.
Got to do better.
We got to do
Got
better.
to do better, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh
So
yeah.
we got to come up with some kind of solution, man. And I know a lot of times they have different types of meetings, but we gotta hurry up, man.
Right.
It's
That's
not
right.
it's not an
That's
overnight
right.
fix.
Right.
No.
It takes a process. Everything's a process. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
So it gonna takes a while to get it right.
Right.
So
That's
we,
right.
we should have started yesterday.
Well, you know what? People are working
we
on
should have been
this.
started.
people are working on this, and I see efforts in the community.
Oh yeah, I do too.
With Angela Hamilton, and some of the others that are doing their due diligence. Scott Muhammad, they're doing stuff.
Roberta
Stuff is
Crenshaw,
happening.
I'm gonna call the names out.
That's right. There you go. Brenda Brown. All
Brown.
these people. They participate and add to the community dialogue.
Right.
And this is what we need more of that.
We need more.
You know what I mean? We really do.
Mm-hmm.
And because when we have things like this, we got to step up.
That's right.
It was just announced at the city council meeting that they can go and get therapy at the bus station next to
Okay. The bus station
they can get therapy
across from, yes, if you need help, okay, Jordan just announced it.
Okay.
They can get therapy. If you witnessed this and if you went through that, BTW across from BTW.
Across from BTW. The bus station.
At the bus station, yeah.
the
bus
station.
station. They've got therapists that are going to be coming in there.
And it starts at 9.
9 a.m. tomorrow. If
That's
you need
tomorrow?
some help, yeah.
Okay,
if you
tomorrow.
need some help,
Great.
yeah,
That's
really,
good.
seriously.
That's
So,
really good.
Good looking out.
yeah, good looking out.
Oh man, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey.
This fresh off the press, y'all.
Hey, look,
This fresh off the press.
but this is what this show is about.
Right.
Is to make sure that people understand that
Absolutely.
that we look out for each other.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
Right.
9 a.m.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
It's fresh off the press, you guys.
fresh off the
They
press.
just leaving the city council meeting just
That's right.
now.
Right.
That's right. So this is
You
brand
get it
new.
first.
Right.
You get
That's
it
right.
first.
You hear it here first.
Here first, you guys.
Yes, the best station in the nation.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, but we've got to take care of each other
We got
and
to.
take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
So that's a really good thing to hear
Right,
that
right.
they're doing something like that.
Yeah.
You know, because PTSD is a real thing.
Ooh-wee,
Right.
It's serious.
Right.
You know, in the military, a lot of military
Right.
people come back.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, they've seen people get killed and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, that's not something that you get over
Right.
very
Right.
easily
Right.
by yourself.
Self.
Right.
Got to have-
Okay. So, like I said, anybody that witnessed this and they saw this and they have some trouble,
Mm-hmm.
you get you some help.
That's right.
Right.
If you was
Right
affected
there.
any kind of way about
Yeah.
it with this, you know what I'm talking about? You could have been outside
Mhm.
when it happened. Inside,
That's
outside.
right.
Or just rolled up on it, didn't know what's
That's
going
right.
on.
Right.
That's
Hey,
right.
you can see therapy tomorrow at the bus station, right across the street from Booker T. Washington,
That's
where
right.
the bus is parked at.
Right.
That's
You
right.
you can tomorrow at 9 o'clock, right? 9 o'clock.
9 a.m.
You can seek some
That's
therapy,
right.
some help, some
Get
professional
some help. Get some help because you know what?
That's good to know.
It
Right.
may not affect you immediately,
That's right.
but a lot of people like in just after this happens, they would have symptoms and things to happen
right.
in the
Right.
future. So
right.
I would suggest reaching out.
Right.
You know, instead of just waiting
Mm-hmm.
for something bad to happen,
Yeah.
go ahead and reach out
Right.
because
Right.
I feel for all the people that were in that store when
yeah.
that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Because think about it like this, you know, any one of them could have been collateral damage.
Right.
Anybody could have gotten hit.
That's right.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
look, that goes to something else that the sheriff and I talk about all the time is when you are not professionally trained
Trained.
to use a firearm, everybody is at risk.
That's right.
Okay?
Everybody.
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 And we talk about that all the time,
That's
don't
right.
we?
That's
Right.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
Right.
You know, and so
Right.
any of them could have been,
That's right.
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 Yeah.
So I
Because-
mean, when you feel like your life might be on the line,
Right.
like that, it does stuff to your
It does
head.
stuff to you, man.
So reach out, folks. Please, please do that.
Please do that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, it's something else we need to. I want to discuss with you too.
Yeah.
About this past weekend on the 4th of July,
Man,
the Founders Day of
let me tell
Tuskegee
you.
University.
You know what?
Tell them, Pat, man.
It was
Tell
really
them what
heavy.
went
It
on,
was
man.
it was really deep. You know, and I hate that I did not have a camera for this.
Right.
Okay, because the Park Service invited me to this thing. Right.
Okay.
Now everybody knows that Lewis Adams is my great grandfather.
Right.
Okay, so we've talked about this all the time.
That's right.
So I get invited to the Kellogg Center, and they just said, "Oh, it's a meet and greet. We're going to talk to the folks and everything." One of the most powerful things that has ever happened in the history of Tuskegee happened at that meeting. Booker T's great granddaughter
Okay.
was doing a presentation.
Okay.
Wow.
When I got there, she saw me and she invited me up, and we were on the stage together.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first time in Tuskegee history, folks, I'm looking at the camera right now. Wait,
history, y'all.
Camera 3.
It's history,
Look,
guys.
the first time this has ever happened, the Washington family and the Adams family, we were up there and we told the story, the true story of the founding of Tuskegee together. Wow. That has never, ever happened. Ever. And you know what? When I made the presentation, a lot of the people did not know the story of Lewis Adams.
Okay.
And there were tears flowing, bro.
Right.
I'm serious. I didn't expect that. I didn't, ask for it. Mm-hmm. But it was just like I saw people out there when they heard that Lewis Adams didn't have his teaching degree and he did what he did. And, I gave them the details. You could just see the because the group was all teachers.
Right.
Every single one of them had a teaching degree.
Right.
And when they realized that Lewis Adams founded Tuskegee without a teaching degree.
Right.
The waterworks, bro.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was heavy.
Yeah.
So we celebrated also a few days later on July 4th. Mm-hmm. We went to Lewis Adams' gravesite.
Right.
And I always tell a little bit of the detail about Lewis Adams and his life. Mm-hmm. And then we transfer over to Booker T's gravesite. Mm-hmm. And, every year I tell a little bit about the history from that perspective.
Right.
And it was pretty profound. Right. It was deep. It was deep. So we're telling the new story because that story that Erica and I told has not been told until 2016 when Dr. Brian Johnson told that story for the first time, when he actually acknowledged Lewis Adams as the founder and Booker T as the founding principal.
Right.
That had never been done before. Wow. That had never happened. Up until 2016, everybody anywhere said, "Oh, Booker T was the founder."
Yeah.
Without regarding the fact that he was hired by Lewis Adams to do this.
Right.
So really, Lewis Adams founded the school and Booker T built the school. He was the founding principal. He built the school.
Right.
Because remember how the story goes.
Right.
Lewis Adams was 38 years old. Booker T was like 24, 25.
Right.
They had an uncle-nephew relationship.
Right.
When he showed up at Cheehaw, Lewis Adams says, "Hey, I'm going to take you all over and introduce you to everybody."
Right.
And he told them, "This is the guy that's going to build the school."
Right.
They were best friends.
Right.
He lived in Lewis Adams' house for a long time until he had his own house.
Right. Wow.
So when I tell that history about how this man was educated illegally, mm-hmm. he learned how to do reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Right.
Spoke 3 languages.
Wow.
Had no teaching certificate, no degree, no credentials whatsoever.
Right.
And when the white guys came and says, "Hey, we want to get reelected. We need the black folks, the black men to vote for us." Mm-hmm. They said, "What do you want?" And they said, "Well, we figure he's got 12 kids. He probably wants some money."
Right.
He tricked them. He says, "I don't want money. Mm-hmm. I want a school. Get me money for a school."
Right. Wow. Yeah.
And he came through and did that. Right? Mm-hmm. He did that. He brought the black vote and got these people elected, and they kept their promise.
That's right.
And that's how Tuskegee came into being.
That's right. Wow.
And I tell people like this, and this is where people need to understand. February 1881, Lewis Adams got the money mm-hmm. to fund the school.
Right.
It was March of 1881 that they contacted Booker T. Washington to get him down here. Mm-hmm. He shows up in June 1881. July 4th, 1881, the school opens.
Right.
Okay? So Booker came here just in time because they already had a school.
Right.
There was a school here. But he came and built the school into what it is now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. So the two of them worked together hand in hand to make this happen.
Right.
Right? But now the true story is actually being told.
Right.
Most people don't know that. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
That's what I'm saying. The Tuskegee people didn't know that, right? Mm-hmm. And so these educators, these teachers, when I said this to these teachers, that's it was very impactful to them as educators because this is an education community as the university and all this. That's what we do.
Right.
And so for them to understand the true history of how this came to be,
right,
it really made a big impact to them. And so I have to give a shout out to all the teachers that were there and all the ones that, you know, we took pictures with and we hugged their necks and everything. We had a great time. Thank you so much for coming out, you know, really, because now these educators can go out and educate the young people so that they can know the real story.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there are a lot of people that will be just happy to have the old story continue.
Right.
But now that the truth is out, we can't hide it.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. So
great.
Uh-oh. Aaron Fitz in the house. Yo, Aaron Fitz is in the house, yo. Yo, TU intern in the house from a 2019 class. Yeah. Yo, y'all remember him talking about the cafeteria food? And wait, he's the guy that ragged on the people staying open late and everything. Yeah. Good to see you, bro.
All right, bro.
Good to see you, man. It's good to see Aaron in the house.
Man, it's good to know. Some of the people that just never heard that story though, man. But now, you know, people know they are getting to understand. Right. It makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? And I heard the story a long time ago by Angela. I think her name is Alexander. She's a professor on campus, and she told that story also. Yeah. And then they was talking about, you know, the bridging the gap between the university and the local people.
That's right.
And she broke it all the way down, and he said, you know how to distinguish what people talking about the university student, like we don't deal with locals. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she broke it all down. She said Louis Adams was a local.
Right.
You know, a local built this school.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
A local was the person right here. That the reason why you're here is because of a local.
Right.
And she was killing with that local thing.
That's right.
With Louis Adams. And that's how I knew that Louis Adams was the founder.
And let me tell you something else. Let me add.
She was killing them with that.
I'm gonna add something else to this too. Okay. Louis Adams had 12 children. Several of them graduated from Tuskegee. Okay. And I take pride in saying to people that Virginia Adams was the first graduate of Tuskegee to ever get a diploma out of Booker T. Washington's hands.
Wow.
And that was my great-grandmother.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. So that's a different distinguishment because there are all these graduates of the Louis Adams family, but my grandmother was the first to get one. Wow. So we tell this history because we're really proud of the development that the university has made.
Right.
You know, I mean, we've come a long way.
Long ways.
You know, all these different trades and these different things. You know, one of the things that I always point at too is that the distinction of self-reliance. That was one of the major things that Booker T. Washington was into.
Right.
And this is one of the main things that we're so proud of with Booker T is that the self-reliance model. At one point, Tuskegee produced its own power, it still has its own zip code, all of these things to make it a city within the city.
Right.
Okay. And so I think part of the self-reliant motive was kind of like separated some of the local community from the school because they were so hard on this self-reliant model.
Right.
And so, you know, it had to be pushed out into the community. And that's what they did with what do they call it? The Jessup wagon and all these different things. They went out into the the rural areas to take the knowledge out there. Right. Carver did a lot of this.
Right.
So that was the whole thing, is to outreach to the rest of the community. But self-reliance was number one.
Right.
Number one. Right. If you don't take care of your own people, that's why they made their own bricks.
That's right.
That's why they produced their own power. That's why they had their own movie theater. They had their own laundromat, all of that stuff right here.
Right here.
Okay.
Right here.
And so that's the origin. And so understanding how that came about, that's why it's so important for us especially since 2016, to understand how powerful that is.
Right.
To know the real whole story.
Right.
Because let me tell you, you know where Lewis Adams used to live? You'll never believe this. The plantation that Lewis Adams grew up on is where the lake is now. From Tuskegee Public all the way down to the right spot,
Right.
was the Jesse Adams plantation. Wow. The lake was small.
Right.
It was a little bitty lake.
Right.
But all of that was the Adams plantation.
Where the lake is sitting on.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes. And where the fire department is now.
Right.
Was a mechanic shop where he was repairing different stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We got such deep history that it needs to be told.
Right.
And it needs to be told completely.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you why, exactly why the story has never been told. Most people don't understand this. But when Lewis Adams got his education, he was a slave.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It was illegal to educate slaves.
That's right.
And typically, if they found out that the slave was educated, you know what would happen?
That's right.
You done.
Right.
And so he knew this,
Mm-hmm.
and he knew that he had to step carefully.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got the funds, he knew he wanted to do a school. He had been educating people for years.
Mm-hmm.
But when he got the funds, he got a young black man,
Mm-hmm.
no children, no wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be in the same kind of jeopardy as a married man with 12 children.
That's right.
And he's got a degree in his hand.
That's right.
He's got credentials.
Right.
So they can say nothing about him having an illegal degree.
Right.
He's
But
validated.
you know what? Almost nobody in this town knows about these details.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hats off, Tuskegee. That was July 4th. And we do this every year. So join us next year at July 4th at the Ashdale Cemetery. We go down there for Lewis Adams, and then we go to the cemetery on campus for Booker T. Washington to honor him too.
Right. Right.
Because like I said, these two men were like best friends.
That's right.
And they did this together. So we need to honor them together.
Right.
And so that's what we do. That's what we do, bro.
Sound good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
All right, people.
Yes.
Run out of time now. It's been out of
Yeah.
time.
We're running out.
Yeah, we went off into Booker T. Washington and all that good stuff there. But we back at the sheriff report.
Hey, the rich history's got to be recognized.
Yeah, Deputy Brownie, he enjoying every moment.
That's
of it.
right.
Absolutely.
He usually be gone by now. But,
I know, right? We would have been out of here.
That was very
But we
exciting.
just wanted to bring that to attention
Yay.
to the listeners out there, man, and you know, because you always being entertained when you listen to 100.7 WBC.
Oh, we always have
Tuskegee
fun.
Virtual. We always have fun, and you're gonna learn something.
That's right. And you know
You're gonna
what?
learn something, man.
Look, the instigator ain't always instigating
Yeah,
nothing.
right. It's
Sometimes I'm educating.
Yeah, instigated is educated. Oh man.
You know it.
So let's give our shout outs, man, and then we'll be off into the next guest.
Yo, I'm going to give a shout out to Kim Motor City, Jordan, Ladrina in the house, Aaron Fitz in the house. We are having a good time tonight, and I'm going to give a shout out to my mother, Alfreda, and her roommate, Pawa Lynn.
Okay.
Give a shout to my best friend, Good Shoes, and a shout out to my son, Patrick, who is in Vegas performing tonight.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's Yeezy. What's his name?
Izzy. Izzy is doing his thing.
Izzy.
Who you got, Brown?
Give a whole shout out to the whole WUBZ
Okay.
crew.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, I want to give a big shout out to my wife, my kids. I love you guys. I want to give a big shout out to my whole entire family. I want to give a big shout out to the guys at this station and you guys here, Tuskegee Virtual, all you guys, the whole crew. And I want to give a big shout out at this station right here, 100.7 WBZ. That's the communicator, Sylvester McPherson, and the co-pilot, that's Andre Fields, and myself,
The connector.
DJ Buddha Rush.
Yeah.
I also want to give a really big shout out to Miss Shirley over there on Jerry Drive. I appreciate the gift she gave me, man.
Yeah.
See, one thing about this station here, man, the listeners out there.
They pour out that love,
they
man.
They take care of you, man.
That's right.
They take care of you. So big shouts out to Miss Shirley over Jerry Drive. She took care of me, man. She called me. Come get it. Come pick it up, Pooh. Come pick it up.
Yeah.
I came and got it. She was satisfied. You know what I'm talking about?
That's
so
right.
thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all gone.
There you go. Hey, listen, you know what?
It's all gone.
I gotta give a big shout out. I forgot about this. We gotta give a good shout out, and we might need to give a round of applause. The fan drive.
Right, the fan drive.
Okay. Shout out to Brenda Brown. She came through like a champion.
Right.
And we really appreciate that. So she made things happen. In fact, she made Rose change their whole inventory thing. They got a whole new display. When you walk in the door, they got fans right
everywhere.
there.
And also,
I
also want to give a big shout out to my whole entire family. We had a family reunion this past weekend on Saturday, man. We had a great time. The next one is going to be on the 25th of next year, on July the 25th. So if you didn't get a chance to come this year, we'll be doing it again next year on the 25th of July.
Oh,
and,
man. Oh,
and also the sheriff, man. He wasn't able to be here tonight.
Yeah.
So he do apologize again, though. The sheriff is not here tonight, and he really wanted to be here.
That's
he had
right.
to go to a workshop and all that good stuff. CBTV is not here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
and,
right.
You know, they really want to be here. I know he's like, I
I
want to
know
be
that's
there.
right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know that's right.
Yeah, so, he's not here tonight. So, Sheriff, we took care for you. You know what I'm saying?
We got it under control.
We got you, Sheriff. We got you.
Hey, listen, I want to also give a shout out. I don't know why this slipped my mind, but this weekend is the Lewis Adams family reunion in Atlanta. So I want to give them a shout out to everybody at the Lewis Adams family reunion this weekend. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get there, but I'm doing everything I can to get there because I want to talk to the family. But I wanted to give them a shout out.
He coming because that car pack guy don't take that much gas. $3.
That's right.
$3 get you to Atlanta and back.
Look, I could put look that hybrid. I could put a little rice in there.
You know what I'm talking about?
Put some rice.
He'll be there, you guys. He'll be there.
That's working.
All right, y'all. That's been our time, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same location, 8 o'clock. Share it. And go to Tuskegee Virtual, and you can be able to see this in about 20 to 30 minutes. You can go to Tuskegee Virtual on Facebook, or you can go to YouTube.
The YouTube, that's
YouTube
right.
Station, you can find that
That's it.
as well. You can see it, and you
Check
can
us out.
Check us out. That's been our time. We'll see y'all next go round. We love y'all, Macon County.
Peace.